From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Brought to you by SSPTV and the Standard Speaker.
It's all about taking a second look at education as a way to ease the financial strain on the American middle class. President Barack Obama and Vice President Joe Biden in our region right now as part of a bus tour through New York and Pennsylvania. Program just getting underway at Lackawanna College in Scranton. Good evening, I'm Kathy Wazinski. Lackawanna College in Scranton is where News 13's Christina Papa is. She joined us now on the phone.
Kathy, it's really exciting being here. I don't know if there's an empty seat in the house. College students, families, business professionals, they're piling into the Lackawanna Athletic Complex. And Obama is right about to take the stage. Now, he's been touring some of the toughest economic areas, so it's no surprise that he'll be proposing to re-examine how students and middle-class families pay for their college education. Hopefully by reducing the cost, it will take the pressure off parents and the kids. And while there's definitely a lot of supporters inside, there are dozens of protesters outside. Again, Kathy will have more for you when it becomes available. I'm Christina Papa, reporting from Scranton for News 13.
And we'll have more in the next half hour of News 13. Wilkes-Barre police now confirming tonight that a member of Luzerne County Council has been reported as missing. Police say that Linda Urban, the wife of Luzerne County Council member Stephen A. Urban, has reported him missing. Police say the last time she heard from Urban was through an email this past Monday, August 19th. Urban's wife told police that at that time, Steve Urban didn't say anything about any travel plans. Once again, Wilkes-Barre police confirming that County Councilman Stephen A. Urban has been reported missing. If you have any information, you're asked to call 911. Members of Pennsylvania state government who call Greater Hazleton home updated the regional business community on the issues on which they're focused. Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce held a special red carpet luncheon today, highlighting elected and appointed state officials with ties to the region. Congressman Lou Barletta, Supreme Court Judge Coriel Stevens, Representative Tara Toohill, and aide to the governor Luke Bernstein all talked about their role in representing the people of the region and the projects on which they're working. The afternoon was also about local members of the business community providing feedback to our representatives.
There's so many people that are involved in the chamber that are part of the greater Hazleton area, and having a voice from Hazleton to Congress to the state government is what it's all about. Okay, having a voice.
The chamber also used the luncheon to thank the government representatives for their service to the people of our region. Well, one local organization is inviting small business owners or professionals working from their home to try out a program built just for them. During a monthly Greater Hazleton Chamber Mixer can be held an open house at the Incubator in Hazel Township to showcase a new program called Work Tank. The program was created to help professionals find a quiet work area outside of their home. Work Tank is a space where professionals from different companies can work for a couple of hours in a private space. The Incubator has Wi-Fi capabilities and other services that the users can tap into if necessary. Can't Be hopes this new space will help businessmen and women find that quiet place to do work while building connections with other professionals.
I work with some other people that are in the same boat as them, that are telecommuting and working from not an office or a corporate office, or they're working from home, or it can be people who are starting a little business from home and the distractions at home are just too much. So they come in here and spend time in a professional environment.
Greater Hazleton's Incubator in Hazel Township was built with the goal of helping small businesses get off the ground. Well, would you rather find some other way to pay for state government services rather than have your home or properties taxed? A statewide group is pushing for that to happen, and as Stephanie Gorney tells us, they brought their message to Hazleton Thursday night.
The Pennsylvania Coalition of Taxpayer Associations is going across the state to gain support on the Property Tax Independence Act, which aims at eliminating school property taxes. And they made a stop right here in Hazleton last night.
School property taxes can be eliminated in Pennsylvania. There's a way to do it. There's a grassroots supported plan to get it done, and to try to enlist their support to make sure the Harrisburg lawmakers know that we want this done now.
At least 10,000 people lose their home to property tax sales every year. The PCTA urges residents to contact their local legislators to let them know that this bill needs to be passed for the people. State Representative Tara Toohill is already on board and is glad to see that a discussion is taking place on this serious issue.
Have to get a dialogue going about property tax relief, property tax elimination, and the only way to move a bill is to get behind it. The only way that we're going to have a discussion is if constituents contact us and tell us that this is something they're interested in and that there's pressure applied to the legislature.
With the elimination of property taxes, the money will have to be made up in other areas. Sales tax will be increased to 7% and income tax to 4.34%. This change is fair for all and will allow people to no longer have to lose their home due to the inability to pay their property tax.
You have no choice. You must pay the property tax one way or the other, or you're going to lose your home. At least with the sales tax, you have an option. You want to buy a big screen TV, but you can't quite afford the sales tax on it, you can defer that purchase till later. You have an option with the sales tax, and you don't lose your home when you don't pay the sales tax.
The PCTA and supporters of the bill will be going to Harrisburg in late September to voice their opinion in person, right to the legislators. For more information on the trip or the bill, visit the website on your screen. Stephanie Gorney, News 13, Hazleton.
And still ahead on News 13, some dark clouds during the day, but they're clearing out and making way for a beautiful weekend. We'll tell you all about it in News 13 weather. But first, one local city doing all it can to crack down on nuisance or neglected properties. We'll outline the strategy when News 13 continues. Hazleton City Council and the HPD are always looking for ways to prevent and stop crime. Christina Papa explains how Hazleton's police chief is calling for a nuisance ordinance to be updated to keep up with the changing times.
Do you have noisy neighbors who don't take care of their property? Maybe they're loitering by their homes late at night.
The core of quality of life violations, that's truly what affects our quality of life.
So when is it time to call the police in to check up on those troublesome neighbors?
It would be my thoughts if I was at your house 3 times in the same year for violations of noise and alcohol and drugs or any complaints like that. You're a nuisance to your neighbors.
Right now, under Hazleton City Ordinance 2009-12, drug-related activities, lewd conduct, public disturbance noises, dangerous animal violations, junk vehicles on property, health and sanitation violations, among other things, are considered a nuisance.
And if they happen within 60 days of one another, the police are able to give a written warning. Police Chief Frank D'Andrea says it doesn't work.
Right now it is such a convoluted ordinance where we have to send a letter and then they have 10 days to set up a meeting with the chief of police and tell the chief how they're going to correct the problem, and then they're given so much time to correct the problem, and in the meantime the nuisance continues.
Chief Frank D'Andrea feels the ordinance may have worked back when it first was put in place, but times have changed, and that means it's time to update the ordinance.
I'm going to work with City Council and the City Solicitor to come up with a restructuring of not only the time limit, but what the city is allowed to do.
With more abandoned buildings popping up around the area, police are looking to stop issues before they start. That means reaching out to the owners of the properties, asking them to police their buildings.
The issue in this particular case with nuisance ordinances and nuisance properties is not the people who are doing the nuisance, it's the people that are allowing the nuisance to occur.
Christina Papa, News 13, Hazleton.
And time now for our regional weather from the National Weather Service. Checking the radar, mostly some ground low friction moving through there, and it definitely looks as though toward the southern portion of our viewing area, a couple of pop-up thunderstorms, things going on there. But once we get through that, things are going to change up and we're going to have a beautifully clear weekend. Creative Condition is all about a hot summer day. It's by Alex Hernandez, a student at Hazleton Elementary Middle School, and he says it's such a beautiful day that people are out strolling around. Now let's take a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton for tonight. Clear with a low around 54 degrees. Then for Saturday, sunny with a high near 75, mostly clear at night with a low around 56 degrees. Heading over to Schuylkill County for tonight, mostly clear with a low down to 53. Then for Saturday, beautiful day, sunny with a high near 79. Be mostly clear at night with a low around 53 degrees.
And we are back here at the Hazleton Animal Shelter for this week's Adopt Me. And today we have Sugar, who is a boxer mix, Chris.
That's right. As her name implies, Sugar is very sweet. She's very affectionate. She loves to be around people. She's most likely a Boston Terrier boxer mix or something along those lines. She is current on all her vaccines and is already spayed, and she also tested negative for heartworm and Lyme.
Okay, so describe her personality. What can people expect from Sugar?
Well, she's very affectionate, very people-oriented. She loves to give your face kisses, and she won't stop. She also loves toys. She's very playful. I think she'd be great with Fetch.
And because she's a mix, can we expect her to get any bigger?
No, her paws are pretty tiny. Also, I think she's fairly young. She's only probably about 8 to 10 months, still under a year. So she's still very much a puppy, and I think very affectionate and playful because of that, and I don't see her getting much bigger at all.
Okay, and there's Sugar for you. Now let's head on into the cat colony. Okay, and now we're in the cat colony, and today we have a cuddler here. She just loves to lay around it with your arms and just cuddle, and her name is Tigress.
That's right. Little Tigress here is approximately 4 months old, already spayed and current on her vaccines, and of course also tested negative for feline leukemia and FIV. She's fairly playful for a kitten, but she's mainly very, very affectionate. She loves to be held. As you can see, she loves to be around people. She also has a beautiful color pattern to her. She, for the most part, has the markings of an American silver tabby, but she has these little orange patches that sort of interrupt her pattern every now and then. So she's very unique looking and very affectionate.
And along with her being affectionate with people, she's also affectionate with other cats.
That's right. She gets along very well with the other kittens. She does try to play with them all the time, even when they're separated by a cage.
Okay, now there's Tigress for you. Now if you guys are looking for a little larger cuddler like Sugar from earlier, or a smaller one here like Tigress, come on down to the Hazleton Animal Shelter at 101 North Poplar Street. And for this week's Adopt Me, I'm Stephanie Gorney.
And let's check the winning Midday Lottery numbers. Good luck if you play. The Daily 310, the Big 4 9206, Quinto 01252. And the Treasure Hunt 5, 6, 13, 19, 24. Hope you won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's social news. First tonight, happy belated birthday to Kayla Latella Gerhart. This wish comes with love from your mother and husband, Will. Tonight's Talk of the Town reports Surviving Together, a free support group of the American Cancer Society, will meet Thursday, September 5th at 6 p.m. at Perkins Family Restaurant in Hazleton. Guest speaker topic will be nutrition and cancer patients. For more information, please call 570-427-8222. And finally, the Life Group at Cunningham United Methodist Church starts up again Monday, September 16th at 10 a.m. The study will be He Speaks to Me, Preparing to Hear from God. The session will run for 7 weeks. The Cunningham United Methodist Church is located on Main Street, and you don't have to be a member to participate. For more info, please call 570-788-3960. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Michael Lesho of Freeland. Funeral is Saturday at 10 a.m. from the McHugh-Wilczek Funeral Home. Friends may call Saturday from 8:30 to 10 a.m. Lois A. Marinock of Hazel Township. Funeral is Saturday at 9 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Friends may call Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. And Ruth G. Deas, formerly of Hazleton. Memorial is August 31st at 2 p.m. in the Faith United Church of Christ. Arrangements are by the Rosenstock Funeral Home. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazleton. Free delivery to all local funeral homes. Call 570-454-0111. And by Doves of White, serving Schuylkill and surrounding counties. Call 570-205-1597.
SSPTV Sports on News 13.
Derek Jeter made his well-anticipated rehab return last night in Scranton, and it went well for the 39-year-old Yankees captain. Although he only played 5 innings in last night's matchup, he got plenty of looks at the plate. In Jeter's first at-bat, the DH took the first pitch knuckleball he saw and laced it into the center field gap, and Jeter reached on a double and would later score. On his second at-bat, Jeter would fall behind on a 2-2 count, but would make contact and ground to second base. The Sox would get the force out, however, unable to get the double play. So we take you into his third at-bat, and Jeter would single on another knuckleball. This would be Jeter's last at-bat as he finished the night going 2 for 3 with a double and a single in the field. Jeter did make a few plays, and he did have a mistake as one hit him off the tip of the glove. But even with the return, the Rail Riders still fell 5-2 against the Sox. Moving on to some games taking place last night. Russ Kanzler was in action, batting sixth, and he would get on base, getting a hit. He finished the night 1-for-4 in Indy's 6-1 win over Rochester. Lehigh Valley was successful in beating former Blue Jay stud Ricky Romero as they take the 5-1 win. Here's what's shaping up in the minors tonight. Derek Jeter will look to continue his rehab start with Scranton. Jeter should start seeing more time and may get pushed harder in this second game. He will see the Pawtucket Sox at 7:05. The big question is, will this be Jeter's last rehab start in Moosic? Also, Russ Kanzler is in action. The Indians take on Rochester at 7:15, and the Iron Pigs look to pull off back-to-back wins against Buffalo. Some Major League action unfolding last night. Let's take a look at some of these scores. The Phillies shocked the Rockies after Dominic Brown singled that walked the Phillies off with the win. And in New York, the Yankees are staying hot. Andy Pettitte, the old guy, getting it done, shutting down 6 innings against the Jays. Yankees win 5-3. So here's what's in store tonight in the MLB. The Yankees opening up the series against Tampa Bay. It will be Kuroda versus Archer. Start time at 7:15. This could have huge playoff implications on the line in Tampa. The Phillies will be moving along in their series as they face Arizona, and Pittsburgh still staying put in San Fran. Start time 10:15. High school sports were in action yesterday at Wright Township Park in Mountain Top. Crestwood taking on the Cougars in some girls tennis. Awesome weather up in the mountains as well. And the Cougars, in a close one, were defeated as the Comets were able to take 3 of 5 matches, beating the Cougars 3-2. Staying course on some local sports as well. We have some golf scores to report on. Yesterday, the Cougars were unsuccessful in picking up the win against Berwick. Berwick defeating Hazleton 165-170. Hazleton's Rich Gowell shot 40. Some more games taking place tonight, and like I said before, football is almost back. Hazleton opens their football season unofficially. They take on Bangor Area High School, scrimmage style. You can catch that game at 6 p.m. That's all I got for sports. Fred Barletta returns on Monday.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by Mountain Speedway. Here's a look at this weekend's action. It's going to be busy. The racing will begin at 6, so plenty of action this Saturday. Just $10 for grandstand admission. Kids under 10 are free, and if you're active military or a senior, you get a $2 discount. There's the website and the phone numbers. You could call them and get all the information on the excitement of racing down at Mountain Speedway.
Yankees third baseman Alex Rodriguez took a fastball in the ribs last Sunday night at Fenway after 2 inside pitches and one that went behind him from Red Sox righty Ryan Dumpster Dempster. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Shorts. You know what? Mother of God, was that necessary? That's what he said. But the answer to that is yes, it was necessary. At least the boos changed the cheers for about 10 seconds. But really, when is the last time a pitcher was suspended for hitting a suspended player? It just doesn't make any sense. And neither does a 5-game suspension for a pitcher make any sense. He wasn't planning on pitching for the next 5 days anyway. The only thing that came out of this that I could see, it has fired up the Yankees, who haven't lost since that happened. What else? Ichiro collected his 4,000 hit this week. 1,278 of them were in Japan. He is only the 3rd professional baseball player in history to collect 4,000 hits. The other 2 are Pete Rose and Ty Cobb. The Phillies fired their manager, Charlie Manuel, and hired a new one, Ryan Sandberg. Miguel Tejada, a former MVP of the Baltimore Orioles, tested positive and was suspended for 105 games for drug use. The 39-year-old KC Royal is in his final year under contract with the Royals. He will miss 2 months of next season if he's still around. NASCAR driver Tony Stewart is out for the rest of the 2013 Sprint Cup season after suffering a broken leg in a crash earlier this month. He turned his car over to veteran driver Mark Martin, who will finish the season for Stewart. And speaking of out for the season, Albert Pujols is out for the season. He's hurt. He is in his 2nd year of a 10-year, $240 million contract. Now, that 10-year contract given to Pujols by the Angels is even dumber than the Yankees A-Rod deal. 10-year contracts are a joke. I hope the Yankees don't make the same mistake with Robinson Cano, who's 30 years old. Now let's end this segment locally. 13-year-old Tina Caparel of Hazleton won the female division in the run for the cannoli last Sunday, finishing in a course record time for a girl in 19 minutes and 38 seconds in a 3.1-mile race. That's Pretty amazing. But even more amazing, in fact, incredible, Luke Gunderman, who retired 3 years ago, ran the course in 19 minutes and 28 seconds. Gunderman, who finished 9th out of 170 runners, will be inducted into the Hazleton Area Sports Hall of Fame on September 15th. Other locals who did very well, Andrew Myers, Jeff Squirts, and Steven Senek, finished 2, 3, and 5. Football season starts next Friday at home till Monday. Stay loose.
Plenty more news and information headed your way on News 13. More on the visit by the President and Vice President to our region. That story and much more news when the 13 crew comes right back.